Hey everyone, welcome to Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. If you're watching this ugly mug with this beard, it must be Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. I think you're 2 still out in Hawaii. I'm not sure. I know that one of you out there will catch me and let me know. You're 6 a.m. out in Indonesia, and you're about 15 to 17 hours ahead of us in Australia. Welcome to everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tom Springer. If this is your first time, welcome to the show. Stuff I Never Learned from the Schoolbook. I bring on guests. 3 p.m. Hawaii. Thanks, Joe. Joe's straightening me out there right away, letting me know what time it is. But for those of you who do know me, welcome back. I do have on a very special guest. Don't mind the spelling of her name because, she doesn't know how to pronounce her own name. But I'll let her explain that. But anyways, I have on a very special guest, as all of you should already know if you actually read when I post my advertisements out. But I have on Onae Shinn. So welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. And you?
Good, thanks. So we already got people popping in to say hi. So there's Jamie. Hey, Jamie. Jamie, like I said, it's kind of a family. Jamie's kind of my loud audience member, I should say. She's the one who will comment the most on anything, I believe, which is fantastic because she fixes me when I'm broken, which is good.
Well, you don't know my crew yet.
Here's my wife. I told you she'd be popping in, so there she is.
Hi, Nicole.
Mr. Joe is saying hi from Hawaii, so he's the one who's letting me know what time it actually is. We got people coming in from Arizona. This must be yours.
And that's my Joe.
Yeah, this must be your Joe. And then we have a Paul saying hi as well. Also must be yours.
Paul is amazing. Paul is a paranormal investigator from Reno.
Outstanding.
He's amazing.
Debbie is saying hi to everyone. She's one of mine. She's actually just recently identified as being on my show in the upcoming months. So I stole her, so she'll be coming on here as well.
All right.
Yeah. Emily's saying hi to you.
Of course. There's Ma'am.
And Damien's also saying hi.
She's amazing. And there's Damien. He's my heart.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. Emily said she was left out. Everyone else is telling their location.
Emily, she's everywhere. She's going to be, you're going to have to pay attention to her and follow her.
Yeah.
Because she's going to be on the radio. If she's not already on there, if I'm correct, it's Louisiana, isn't it, Emily? So, hey, there's Becky. Hey, sweet pea.
I'm saying hi. Carolyn's saying hi to you as well.
And Carolyn, my special.
And she's saying, you don't have to plug anything.
I do. I love my friends. I want to share. Everybody.
Exactly,
I love to promote everybody.
Share away. I tell everyone that's on here, because I actually have a page, that Stuff I Never Learned from a Schoolbook right there. I tell everybody, if you want to go out there and post your stuff on my page, as long as it's not offensive, I don't care. Post it to my page, advertise the snot out of yourself. I don't care. Do what you do. So there's Melody. Hi, Melody. She's also another one. We also have Imani. Hi, Imani.
Hi, Imani. How are you?
So all these people just rolling in saying hi from everywhere. So Charlotte, that must be one of yours. I don't know Charlotte myself.
Hi, Charlotte, hon.
And then, so Debbie's following up with Boyfriends Kentucky to spend a few weeks up there when the leaves were in full color. So that would be amazing. Nikki is saying,
Emily's all New Orleans.
New Orleans.
And I'm actually my mug is from New Orleans.
Oh.
So when I was there with my friend Jackie Harmon, we took a road trip and it was the craziest freaking thing, the road trip. Whenever Jackie and I get together, it's like craziness.
That is awesome. Maverick's popping in. Oops, that was Nikki. Maverick's popping in right there.
There you go. There he is.
Go. And Emily says she loves the mug. So we can cover messages all day long. I mean, we got them all.
Yes, we could. That'll take like the whole show. It'd be great.
Right? It would. We just sit here and say hi to everybody, and show's over. Great. Thanks for having us. But anyways, I started following you. I want to let everyone know how I met you first. So I was actually perusing, stalking, whatever you want to say, websites as I go through normally. And I came across Onae, and she was actually doing a show, and she was doing a reading show. I really didn't have any questions, but I wanted to pop in and say hi. And she was nice enough to say hi back. And then we kind of struck up a very small conversation in between readings. And so I kind of went from there. And then I started following her, and I ended up falling in love with her even more. So I was like, all right, I got to get this lady on my show. And lo and behold, here she is, nice enough to say yes and come onto the show and say hi to everybody. So welcome to the show. I'm very happy you're here. I know everyone else is too, because I had a lot of responses back when I said you were coming on the show, and they're like, "Oh, I can't wait for this one," or "Definitely going to tune in." So I had all these different comments rolling in from people I didn't know. So they must be your followers when you reposted it. It just kind of rolled from here. But
Yeah, I got some pretty cool peeps.
But I do have to ask. This is everyone in my audience knows that I'm my show is not canned or planned at all. It's just squirrel moment after squirrel moment. And I wanted to know the one canned question I ask everybody, and they know this, is when did you start? How did you start? Kind of what brought you into what you're doing now?
Okay, well, when did I start and how did I start? Well, I just was born this way. I remember just being a toddler and having out of body experiences and remembering that. And a lot of my memories are that. And I remember one of my out of body experiences when I was a toddler was communicating. I was looking down at myself, communicating with some entity that wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've had this. I was born into, yeah, I know. It's Arizona, Arizona Ghost Adventures. I'm representing my girl Rita, who was actually on not Arizona, but Ghost Adventures, because that's what that's what Zach, right? I can't get his name.
Yeah, Zach Baggins.
Zach Baggins, is that what it? Yeah,
Yep.
okay, yeah. I forget his name. Sorry. Yeah, Rita's really cool. I'm like her resident medium on her event. But yeah, no, I started just as I grew up in a family of intuitives and tarot readers. And so tarot cards were always, just on my kitchen table.
I was going to say, I bet you have a deck sitting right in front of you.
I have texts everywhere. I've got them in my purse. I got them on my desk here. I got them on my shelves. I got them in my kitchen. They're everywhere. So I never, they're like, I got several decks charging in the moonlight right now. So yeah, tarot is my world. And I only stick to basically the same kind of deck that I was raised with. Because I don't, to be honest, I'm going to tell you a secret, which I guess it's not a secret because I kind of laugh at the secret, is I grew up in a family where we didn't have textbooks. I mean, we read obviously, but we didn't do we're not like where we'll go out to the store, buy a book of tarot and then study it, and study the meanings and all that. That's not how we started. It just was through the family. Like my great grandmother taught my mother and my aunt, and kind of that kind of stuff all through. I mean, mental telepathy, just kind of all kinds of stuff, they learned. And yeah, so that's kind of, it's just a family thing. And so it just kind of like, your mom going out grocery shopping or something. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, my mom's going grocery. My kids would be like, oh yeah, my mom's just reading cards again, and be like, what? Right. Normal for us. My kids growing up, yeah, we do cards all the time. We would stand around, I learned by watching my mom, my aunt, and my cousins, my sisters, and I. We would be standing around my aunt and watching her and my mom lay out the cards and talk. And my aunt's like, oh, and there's a shopping mall. And we're like, where's the shopping mall? And it could be like, this, it could be this card right here. And you're like, where's the shopping mall? And she's just like, here, this is where you're focusing.
Yeah.
This is what you're doing. She's like, these are just a tool to help you focus and tune into what spirit is bringing through.
Yeah.
So that's how I grew up. And that's, but I had, unfortunately growing up, but once I grasped it and accepted it, and then decided to use it for good, and to help people. Once I realized I could help people with it, it was amazing. But I was born with the lion's share of the abilities where I get to see and talk and hear dead people. So where a lot of my other family members don't have that ability as clearly as I do.
Right.
And it was a little rough growing up that way, but then once I grasped it and I was just like, whew, okay, and it's just like, oh wow, I can help people with this. Hey, Roy, he's so sweet. Oh my gosh, Roy is like my hero. uh, he's so fun. We had a blast in Virginia City.
Oh.
I have like these special friends that just, we travel together. We and Lobby Bar. Oh my gosh. Were you there at MGM in Vegas last year? Were you there at MGM in Vegas last year?
Not me.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
then you understand the Lobby Bar.
I unfortunately just came into this whole abilities thing about a year ago. So
okay.
It's very new to me.
Well, we had a big thing going on in we are a bunch of wonderful weirdos though, right, Paul? And I know Paul was there in Vegas too. And so we had this thing called, my girlfriend Jackie and I were just like Lobby Bar, because everybody that was there in Vegas, we were supposed to all have like a VIP dinner. Well, it didn't work out that way. The guy just kind of screwed us out of that. I don't have to say his name because everybody probably already knows his name who ran that one. But he screwed us all out of a VIP dinner. And you were too. Yes, I know, my love. And then, but everybody came together at, hey, George. So George and I grew up in elementary school. Yes, Joe. I dragged Joe there. I'm like, Joe, come on, let's go. You're going to Vegas with me. And we had the greatest time in Lobby Bar, because you know what? We were supposed to have a VIP dinner, and the headliners, I guess the guy canceled it all on us. We all paid dinner, dinner fees and all that stuff, and never got our dinner.
Wow.
And the VIP headliners, they were so gracious. They all joined in and hung out at Lobby Bar. And it was just a bar that was in the MGM, and they just hung out with us, and it was just fun. We had a great time. They were just all so wonderful and just down to earth. It was really nice to get to know them all, and also make great friends. Like Roy was there. Joe was there with me. Jackie was there. So it was a bunch of us. And Damien was there, and Paul. So we were all there. It was fun. And it was just, it made that weekend. We just all kind of bonded and got together and became friends.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
So we became a little family.
So there is a question. I'm gonna let you answer it since it's your name. Oops, where'd it go? I just lost it. Oh, there it is. What does the O stand for, Lady O?
Oh my gosh, I have Lady O. I forgot. There's some people don't know how to say my name. So, and this one guy in particular, he likes to call me Lady O. And I just was jokingly on his show, and I put Lady O. I guess forgot to put it on my regular name. Paul, you be nice.
I think this is Paul being nice.
Actually, my name is pronounced Onae, and it's Celtic. It's Celtic mythology, and it means banshee. I was named. My mother thought it meant princess. And when she went to her grandmother when I was born, and she presented me to her, and she's like, "Here, Grandma, here's my daughter, and here's the newest one." And she says the name Onae, and my grandmother goes in her Irish brogue, "Oh, saints preserve us! You named her for the banshee." So and she said, "No, it means princess," and she's like, "No." And it turns out that I was adequately named, I guess, because I am very loud and I talk to the dead. So
there you go.
Yeah. So it's a fitting name.
And you're teaching your kids.
Kids, they're when you grow up, and I'm mom,
Yeah.
So
yeah. I know. I'm just wondering because I saw that you were, when I was reading through all of your information, that you are teaching the kids tarot as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yep.
So now, do they get part of the mom's lion's share of being able to talk to and everything else, the dad, or is that just
My boys, my oldest, he tries to ignore it. I know he's got
mm,
abilities, but he ignores it. My youngest boy, he showed for a while. He shows every now and then. He shows interest in the tarot, and he hears things, sees things. So we all have the ability. It's whether they want to practice it or just ignore it. My
right?
daughter, she has the lion's share like I do. She even has the ability, even more abilities than I do, where she can, when she moves things with
Mm,
just her thoughts and energy. So when she gets excited, things will shoot off the tables and whatever. So it
she's
just
got
so
the
that's how she just
telekinesis type of
yeah.
yeah.
And we went to this bending spoon session once, and I'm just like bend,
Right,
bend,
trying to use your thumb. Come on,
bend. And it did eventually bend, but not as, it just was like, meh,
right.
and my daughter just picks up the spoon and goes, bend. And it just like, whoop. And I was just like, damn.
You're like, I saw that on the Matrix.
So yeah, my daughter has pretty big, amazing abilities when she wants to use them. You could walk into a room, she can look right at you and she can tell you what's wrong with you physically, without even talking to you at all. So she's on the ball. She's got some good intuition, but she doesn't want to be a freak like me.
Is that what it is? Paul's saying he needs a tarot deck of Samuel L. Jackson sayings.
Yes,
So,
Paul, there you go. Start making it. I went to Virginia City. You got to go to Virginia City, Nevada. C Street. Boom,
I've been to Virginia City. I'm actually, like I said, I'm born and raised Californian.
okay, so then
I've been
that's
over
where
to
Paul
Nevada a
is.
lot.
Paul and I hang out there. Paul is amazing. He helped me because I was doing events up there, and it's just I love how you just walk up and down. You just go to bars and all the bar to
Right?
bar to bar to bar to bar, and Paul is hanging out with me, and and hanging out with helping me with all my events. So he's pretty cool, and he's an investigator. He's pretty cool investigator himself, and he's really cool. I want to have my own little shop up there. I do my own events up there. But yeah, if you're ever there, we'll all have to hang out together, have a reunion, a VC reunion.
So where are you at right now?
I am in Tucson, Arizona,
Tucson, Arizona.
because I'm smart. When the winter we come, you stay in nice warm,
Smarter than
warm
I am.
weather.
Smarter than I am, that's for sure. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. Not warm. So yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, today was 41 and it was the warm day. So we have that going for us.
That's nice. We had a cold day. It's like it rained a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking because you said that you had all the tarot decks out right now, sitting in the moonlight, and I'm like, nope, not outside my window. It's sleeting and raining right now. Not a way to get that done. So
Yep.
I want, I have a question. I know a lot of tarot readers, but I never ask them questions. And I don't know why I don't. I just don't. I mean, like just in general questions about tarot, and not stuff what's coming up in my life or anything. I don't do that. But when you read tarot, is there a certain kind of pattern that everybody follows? 3 cards, 5 cards, 7 cards, 9 cards, the whole deck.
No.
I mean,
some people everybody has their rules. I am one of those people who I have no rules. It just because it's all about my one rule, I would say, if I have a rule, is listen to your intuition.
right.
And I used to run a class called Tuning into Your Intuition, so that people would understand and open up to their intuition and learn to trust that. Trusting your intuition is like the thing.
Right.
I'm loving you too, hon. Thank you. But that's it. I mean, really, it's everybody, because I don't really like give people rules. Because I'll even show you here. You pick a card like that, and this is how I teach. See this card? What do you feel from it? What are you getting?
Hmm.
And then what comes to you, what pops in your mind, what it does, it just, is there something popping out? Is there something in this card specifically that's standing out to you? Did you just think a thought? Did you have a feeling? Did your right thumb start to like throb or something? Anything, anything. You pay attention to your body, your mind, your thoughts. And, did something touch your hair? Did you get a kink in the back of your neck or something? Anything. Pay attention to that, because it doesn't even matter what these cards mean. It doesn't matter. They're just beautiful little pieces of art.
Yeah, that's
for you to help focus on, and it just helps you kind of tune in to what, spirit is saying to you.
right.
And that's how I do it. And I've joined tarot groups, because I had to, like, if I moved somewhere and I had to get to know people, and
Right.
I joined their little groups or whatever. And this is probably going to sound horrible, but I just, they have their rules, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just entertain your little rules, and entertain you for a little bit here. And then they try to do the whole, let's just do 1-card readings, or let's just do a 3-card reading. And and if anybody and everybody knows me, I'm just like, as I'm talking to you and giving you a reading, or we're doing something like that, I'm just like, here, oh, and blah, 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 blah. And I just can't stop. Like, I'm just keep going. It just keep talking, It's just like, it's like, and they're like, no, just 1 card, just 1 card. I'm like, no, I can't. It just has to come. It flows. You just can't just stop with just 1 word.
Right.
Or one, it just, no, because once you do it, you're opening up, and it's just like, woof, there's
Right.
your message. You want to open up, you're connecting, you're reading energy. That's what you're doing. Perfect. At least that's how I do it.
Yeah.
I mean, other people have lots of rules. They're like, wrap your cards in this special color cloth, and put it in this special box, and rotate it 3 times around, and jump up and down.
What works for them, right? That's just what works for them, not necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. So.
Yeah.
So Emily's saying, is intuition and that gut feeling the same thing?
Yes, it's all the same thing. It is. Intuition, gut, spirit, angels, everybody in their own way and their own beliefs have basically the same. They're all talking about the same stuff. They just have it in different forms of what they believe.
Yeah. At
least that's how I believe, and that's why I'm just so open to everybody. You got blank cards.
You got a money blank card.
And that blank cards are great, because then you're just kind of going with whatever comes to you. And that's basically what it is. The only reason why I stick to this is because I was raised with this. It's right. Just a second nature. So it just kind of helps me gradually just kind of just let things flow. When I whip out the card deck, where's the deck? Here it is. because I love black cats, as you can see. So my girlfriend got me
that picture behind you. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know. And then you should see I just got this big, huge tapestry that takes up like half my wall, the majority of the wall actually. And it's just cat eyes, just like a cat face.
Very cool.
So, but, and I use it for my Halloween nights. But my girlfriend, she knows I love tarot and I love black cats. So she got me this, right? She's thought, oh, well, you'll enjoy this. Yeah. And it's great. But that makes me have to like kind of go, oh crap, I don't know the meanings of the cards. I have to figure out what 10 of black cats means.
Right.
You know? And I'm like,
yeah, you're stepping through the book. Hold on a second.
You're going to have lots of cats.
Right. And they're all going to be the same color.
So, but yeah, you just kind of stick with what works for you and what feels good. And so that lets things flow. And the crystal ball, oh my gosh.
Paul's saying he had a teenage girl pull him aside in an event and tarot read him. Every card she flipped over was picked out a personal thing about me that she didn't know. So she nailed it. Very nice.
Yeah. Very good. She has the gift. Yep.
What's up, Anthony? Nikki has a question for you. She is asking, what would you suggest to someone who was wanting to get started with tarot cards?
I would say pick out a deck that talks to you, that like speaks to you, whatever you're drawn to. Some people like fairies, some people like dragons. I like the Rider-Waite basically, or the Hanson Roberts deck. Something very similar to that is the Robin Wood deck also. And what I would suggest for people is just get a book, a notebook, and a blank one, and make that your I don't know, they have like a special name for it. I just call it a notebook. And you can either buy stickers, or you can buy that little tiny miniature deck of cards. They're little
Oh, yeah.
You buy them online. They're like these little tiny little things. Or you can get the stickers, and you just assign one page per card. And what you do is you look at the card and you go, what do I feel from that? And you write what you're feeling. And then you can get a book too, if you like, and you could like kind of just give it 1 or 2 words of a meaning that a textbook might have, if you need a textbook. Otherwise, what you do is you pick a card for the day. Every day you shuffle, focus on your day, have your card of the day, and then you write down what you think it means to you when you're looking at the card. Like, okay, I'm going to have a lot of things going on today, and then you keep that card out all day long. You write your little meanings, what you feel you're getting from it. Then at the end of the day, you go, okay, how does this card pertain to my day? And then you're creating your own personal experience with it. And so here, like say this one here pops up, right? Queen of Swords. Swords is, the suit of swords is all mind, air, kind of stuff like that. Because there's elements in the cards. There's air, water, fire, and earth.
And earth, yeah.
I'm like, I gotta remember these things. And then so you pick out thank you, Book of Shadows, thank you, hon. And so you get this one, right? And it's like, okay, I got this one. She's, pretty hot shit right there. She looks like she's gonna be a smart woman. And it looks like, and then so at the end of the day, maybe you had a major decision to make, so it's like you had to be firm with your communication, or you had to write something or sign something. And this is kind of what you go with. And then you write that down in your book. And then you have your own personal experience to that card. You might get this card 5 days in a row.
Oh.
Okay. And you'll have 5 different meanings and personal experiences to it. So when you go to read someone's cards, what will happen is, even though you have 5 different experiences to it, you'll get one. If it's going to pertain to that person, you're going to get one of those memories and that feeling that you had from that day and that experience, and you'll be able to relay that to them. And that's how I read cards. So, and that's how I tell people, it's like, you need to learn and feel and get to know your deck. I would say sleep with it for a week under your pillow. Not directly, because that would hurt.
Right.
But, but yeah, I just, because you want it to be like, I carry my deck around. I have specific decks for different things. One of them's my purse all the time. So whenever I'm going anywhere, even in my sister's house, we always break out the cards, or friends, we break out the cards. Coffee, Joe and I, when we go to coffee, we'll break out the cards. So Carolyn, calls up and she's like, hey lady, what's going on? Should I buy this house? Let's break out the cards. So, what business should I do now? Let's break out the cards. So yeah, I always have like different cards. And then if I'm sitting here, boom, got my cards for this deck. And I was also raised by my aunt who, you'll see me on my lives. It's no secret. So it's on my lives. And I'll put like different numbers and different colors on the back. That's like getting a whole nother reading on top of the reading that you're going to get. Different, and it doesn't have to be any specific color. It's whatever you are resonating to. And it's not every card in the deck either that I put this on. Oh yeah, and the pendulums, yes. My pendulum, all right, it's really funny. It's like, I love my pendulums, right? And I'll ask my pendulum. I got a zillion of them. Like, they're all like right here.
Yeah.
I
got a couple
right
of them. So.
All my pendulums, and I keep them charged on my selenite.
Yep.
And so, but I'll ask some questions, and then I have to call up Carolyn, and I'm like, Carolyn, just tell me what it says for you. Just, here's my question, but I won't tell her. I'm like, I'll let you know what I'm talking about afterwards. Is it yes or no? Because my pendulums work great when I'm giving readings to other people.
Right.
But when it comes to answering my own questions, even when it comes to my own card readings, it's just like I'm trying to read my cards, and you would think they're like turned into Chinese or something.
Right.
I'm like, I can read for people, tell them what to do, help and guide, all this stuff all day long, nonstop. You know, I barely even need to look at the cards. I'm just like starting to talk to you and starting. I'm like, oh, you know, I'm having this problem. I need to like read for myself, maybe get a little guidance, you know, from spirit. And I know. And it doesn't answer me.
Right.
It's like turns into Chinese, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm just I can help guide people, but when life wants me to just stumble right on through all my issues.
Right. I know exactly what you mean. I'm like, so every once in a while I get message for people, and I just start talking. But then when I'm thinking about stuff myself, it's just like a white noise. You're not helping me at all here.
Yep. And then if I think I know what it's saying, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like that answer. Let me reshuffle.
Yeah, right.
Let me get something to like, you know, till I get like all pentacles. Woo! I'm gonna win the lottery.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, Paul, that's true. The spirit guy laughing at you just stumble through things. Yes. And
Paul, poor Paul. He hung out with me on C Street while I was stumbling through all that shit. Well, while my spirit guides are laughing at me, and Paul's just helping me. He's holding my hand, helping me through it all. Oh, that was fun.
So I want to tell you, it's funny that you picked that card and the way you talked about that card.
Okay.
Because it was the Queen of Swords, you said, and you talked about all the different elementals. And it's funny you said that, because my audience knows that I speak to, hear, and talk to elementals just like I'm talking, seeing, and hearing you, like they're people. Just and that's what I see every time I'm outside. I can just see them walking around, and I can hear them talking and everything else. So it's funny you pulled that card and you started talking about all the different elements. I'm like, oh, I know that.
So, there's no mistaking. Everything's on purpose.
Yeah. Oh, so I want to come back to this one because Amy talked about she works with oracle cards. She can't seem to feel the tarot versus the oracle.
Yep.
Oh, well, there you go. See? So must be the same thing.
Yeah, they've got all different kinds of them.
All right. What's the difference between oracle and tarot? Is there a difference? He's trying to give an answer. Your dogs know these answers. They've been around long enough. They know these answers. Don't worry, people. When you hear her go shh, just to nothing, she's not talking to spirit. She's not trying to keep them quiet. It's the dogs in the house. That's all it is. Don't freak out. So.
Yeah, Belle's right here. She's right here. I'm trying to say hi. Hey, Michelle, how are you? Michelle, and Roy and Casey and I had, and my friend Jackie, we had an amazing time. And so did Paul. Paul, you were there too. We had an amazing time. In where was I? Virginia City. See, squirrel. I'm just like, I know you asked me a question about the cards, but I went off on Michelle, and I'm like, oh, I had a memory from earlier.
Let's go that way.
Virginia City. But yeah, there's all different kinds of. Those are tarot cards, and those are candles that I'm just dropping all over the place. But then there's I have all kinds of cards. Here's another oracle deck. There's more. Here's another kind. You can have all different kinds. You just have to go with what resonates with you. And of course, I don't like to read and study. I like things just to come naturally and flow with me. So this is like this has become one of my favorite decks. And see, the oracle cards, how I feel, what the difference is between oracle cards is they kind of work on more of a spiritual level and a spiritual message.
Okay.
Tarot cards, they can work on spiritual, yes, but they also work on the nuts. It's all about the nuts and bolts of life, okay, kind of thing. So it's, you know, you can be like, oh, what am I gonna, you know, am I gonna get through this? What's going on in my life right now? And she'll be like, you are a powerful goddess. You're gonna do this, and you're gonna be amazing. And this one's gonna be like,
yep, go with the show.
Yeah, let me get. Yeah. You're gonna have a new, you know, something new is coming your way, you know, or fill your cup up first, you know, crazy woman. So before you can do anything else, or You know, it's like it's all about having, you know, hey, here's some jealousy coming up or an envy or a crappy situation. You know,
So
you
it's more
better
of
like
a
figure
more of an
shit out
everyday,
first,
more of
you
an
know?
everyday type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
that's a good
And
one.
that's my take on it.
Yeah,
So, and I
yeah.
like to hear how wonderful and powerful I am. So,
When you read cards, um, I mean, people have to understand that if they're going to ask you to do a reading, they're not all they're not all happy and love and joy and everything else. Sometimes you get bad news in the tarot as well, right? So, I mean, that's just going to happen.
yeah. But I like
So,
to do, you know, I'm always one of those positive people. And you could have like the sky falling all around you, but I'll be like, look, silver, every cloud has a silver lining, right? Somewhere.
right.
So, it's, yes, that's true, Becky. Yeah, I do. I give more of a, you know, nuts and bolts kind of thing. Yes. And, but I totally forgot what we were talking about.
Okay. So, way back when, not yonder, but over yonder, we were talking about. I asked the question about oracle versus tarot cards. So we kind of finished that subject up, and now we're kind of in our squirrel field where there's one tree but a whole bunch of nuts, and all these squirrels are going crazy right now trying to figure out where they're going to get them. So, and I'm perfectly fine with that. That's how this show works. She said, "Yeah, opportunity in the tower."
Yeah, see, the tower is amazing. You know, it's like looks like your life is falling apart. It's blowing up. But just think about what happens in the tower. Let me find this tower card. So just because I love everyone's like scared of all these cards, like the devil card and
Ah.
um
Paul's saying that you make fun of people at public readings. Just so you
I
know.
do. Oh, I do, don't I, huh, Paul?
She's like, I'm shocked. Wait, that is me. Dang it. Called out.
Yeah, I do. And he's got me on video doing it.
Oh, awesome.
But if you look at this, it's like, there it is, right? There's the tower card. People are like, oh my God, my life's falling apart. But look at it's he's like very entertaining. But look at now it's like the roof's blown off. Now it's like everything's everywhere. So what does that mean for you? Let's look at a silver line. Let's find that there, right? Let's focus on that. Well, now you're free to do whatever, right? You pick up, you wait for all the pieces to fall and in all the dust to settle. And then now you can just pick up whatever you want and just move on and start fresh. Or you can find out the silver lining. Like now there's the roof's blown off, right? So now you're unlimited. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can start, you can the sky's the limit now, right? You can
Right?
just change things. And sometimes, you know, these things, when these things happen to you, it just means, you know, there's some of us that are just will hold on with our nails, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
till the very, very end, even though like spirit and angels are pulling us and pulling, tugging us. Like, you got to get out of that horrible situation. And you're just like, no, you know, you're like in your little, you know, tower of crap. And you're just like, but it's comfortable. I know this crap. And it's like,
Right?
no, you know, no, you have to like something really bad has to happen in order to like push you out of your little nasty little comfort zone of misery and to so you can be free to open up to something wonderful that might be coming your way that you're not seeing because you've put yourself in this little tower of crap.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm always like, yeah, here's this crappy situation, but let's focus on what you could do with this and where you can go from here and what you have positive in your life. So people are like, you didn't say anything bad about my reading. And I'm like, oh yeah, you got shit there. But what did we focus on? We focused on the
Right.
silver lining. We
Right.
focused on where we can go with that. What? Yeah, everyone's got crap. The problem is what are we going to do from here?
Yeah.
Everyone's got it. So like, but what are you going to do? What do you want? Let's focus on what you want and where you want to go. How you want to feel. Do you want to feel miserable or do you want to start, you know, moving on towards your dream?
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of where
And
I
that's,
like I take people away from all that negative crap and start getting them focusing on, oh well, hey, wow.
yeah. And it's funny because I've always heard something even when I was little, and I still kind of resonate that with that to where someone comes up and like, oh, this is going on, blah, 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 stuff like that. I'm like, cool. Answer me a question. How's that going to affect you in 10 hours, 10 days, 10 months, 10 years? You know, in 10 days, is that really going to matter at all? Or are you going to completely forget about it by that time? We've moved on to something else.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Paul's
I give myself 3 days to, I have like that 3-day rule. It's like, okay, I'll, if it's like really upsetting, I'll allow myself to be miserable for 3 days, and I'll eat my ice cream and watch my Netflix, and I'll whine and cry to my girlfriends. And then I'll be like, okay, it's day 3. Time to pull my big girl panties up, tie my boots, put myself up by my bootstraps. And okay, it's like, all right, which event are we going to now? What am I going to do now? Let's have a new goal. Let's have a new focus.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Pull yourself out of it.
Just so you know, Paul is still calling you out. I just want to let you know that. Paul is now he's saying, she was like, what's your name, hon? They don't answer. She says, oh, you forgot.
But you don't know your name? What, you forget? Oh, Paul. Oh. You're killing me here.
I did that to someone before. He said, I go, what's your name? He said, Bob. I said, but you spell yours backwards, don't you? So yeah, I do the same thing to people.
Yeah, because I did an event in Virginia City, and it's like I had 36 people. I got to get 36 people read or give them some kind of information from their loved ones that have passed over. And it's not as easy, so it's a lot of energy on me. So I'm just like, okay, hey, what's your name? And they're like, deer in headlights. And I'm like, you forgot your name. You don't have a name. What? Let's go, buddy. I got 35 other people I got to get to. So yeah, I'm just like, and then they'll be like, I'm like, oh, what was it? Like the wagon one? Wasn't that it? Was it Paul? It was like the wagon. I'm like, I see her like a chuck wagon or something, and ringing the bell, and the guy's like, oh, no. Sure enough, it was his grandmother when it was young, and that's which he rang the chuck wagon bell and stuff. And so yeah, it's like people forget, and you're just like, come on.
Right.
This is like he grew up with this. It was an everyday thing, and it's like, forgot your name.
So George says hope you can make it to Connecticut in October.
I know. I was supposed to be in well, let's see. I was supposed to be in was it August? I think it was August. I was supposed to be in the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash.
Oh, okay.
And I was supposed to be there, and I was going to be there, and I was going to be part of the metaphysical roundtable thing. And I was supposed to do my friend Christopher and I were supposed to do you might have heard of him, Christopher Lutz, but he was we were supposed to do this road trip and do this live stream road trip to there, and but that kind of fell through, so I didn't make it to that one. So I'm going to be in that one this year, but I'll be doing a road trip probably with Rita and somebody else and anybody else who wants to do a road trip. And then I was supposed to be at the Warrens Paracon with Arnie Johnson.
Oh yeah.
And Arnie and I are friends. I grew up George and I grew up with our friend Sue, who's Arnie's daughter-in-law. And we grew up together. And so we knew, I grew up with Arnie's son. And so we're all kind of like family. And back there in Connecticut. And so it's weird how you just like know people and you just don't even really think about their story. And here he's got like The Conjuring 3, and it's like it's all about his life. And you're like, yeah, I know you.
Right? I know.
So I was supposed to be there with Arnie and George, and I kept saying it all year long. I'm gonna be there. And George is like, yeah, I'm gonna be there too. And he's flying in from Florida to be there and see me, and I'm not there. So I will be there this year. I promise.
So Michelle's asking next gallery in Virginia City.
You know what, Michelle? I think I have to buy my own building in Virginia City to have my next gallery in. I don't know. I have some friends up there that might want me to be meeting other people, other places. Maybe I can get connected with the Washoe Club or Gold Hill or something like that. I'd rather try other avenues, Michelle, in Virginia City.
Yeah. And
then we'll see how it goes.
Paul is telling you there might be a big pair event at the prison this year.
Well, there's lots of prisons. What prison?
You got to ask Paul. Paul, what prison? Paul, seriously. Come on, Paul. Think when you speak. Geez, some people's kids. Hey, see, I even mentioned Australia earlier, and bam, there it is. How you doing, Cody?
I have to get my passport. Do you have a passport?
I do. Sure do. I travel all over the world for work, so.
Nevada State Prison. All right, there we go. Well, let me know about it, Paul, and then we'll all be there. Reunion.
So how long does a reading normally take when you do a reading, tarot reading?
It depends upon what you want to know.
If you, good point. But I mean, you were saying that you just had to go through 36 people, bam, and have to give them something.
Oh yeah, I had to do like 36 people in like a 2-hour
like that. So like 2 hours, okay. So.
Yeah, well, I did it with I think I even did it in less. I think I did like an hour and a half. But it's like so those people, it's like you're giving them information from their loved ones, and that's a gallery. That's a mediumship gallery.
Right.
So and so of course, when you're paying for the ambiance of the place that you're in, you're paying for the connection, you're paying for the entertainment.
Right.
And apparently Paul thinks me picking on people is fun. So
that'd be half the entertainment right there.
Yeah. And then oh my God. And I was like all dressed up in like the corsets and I was like from the 1800s. I just like that. And so so I try to make it nice and fun. But it all depends upon kind of readings.
Michelle's gonna go.
Yes.
Dinner's calling.
So yeah, it depends upon the reading. If it's a tarot reading, it could last 5 minutes to, an hour. If it's, a mediumship reading, it can, same thing, it's like whatever you're needing to know or what. And when it comes to spirit though readings and mediumship readings, it also depends upon the connection that you're having with the spirit and how many spirits. I mean, I get some people I prefer to do my mediumship communication in person. And if it's one person, if they're paying to like have a private reading, I prefer them to come to my, come and spend a quiet, undisturbed kind of thing with me, because then you can focus on, because they might be trying to talk with one person. You can't really guarantee who's going to show up.
Oh no!
But let me tell you, sometimes I have like a whole family reunion. Like my room will be like full of energies, and I'll be like, and it'll take like a good hour, like filling up the whole hour of a reading for somebody. And then you can tell when they start to leave. You can feel like the energy is like it's getting easier to breathe, and it's not so hot in the room anymore. And so it's all dependent upon spirit and depending upon what kind of reading, if you're wanting. Typically, I would, a nice, good reading from a tarot reading, if you're just going to stick with that, because I do psychic readings with my tarot cards, and I can't break that stuff up. I try, and because I didn't realize people could do that. I remote view and stuff like that.
Actually, one of the questions you're answering right there. When you're doing, do you always use tarot? Do you use mediumship or psychic abilities?
I will use it all. If you're just basically. I just say you're paying basically for my time, and I just focus on whatever you want me to focus on. I ask if you're, because some people are afraid of the mediumship. Some people are afraid of the tarot cards. So I give them whatever they want. And if they're open for everything, then I do everything. I just, whatever makes you happy. If I have the ability, I'll do it.
Amy's asking, how do you read someone who gives off an energy that is different from what they are asking? With being an empath, that seems to happen a lot.
Well, if they're trying to hide something, you can just like pretend like you don't know. Because if people don't want you, or you can just look at them and just be like, you know what? We're alone here. Let's just be honest. You can't shock me for nothing. So, I mean, I've heard all kinds of stuff. So, I'm like, no judgment here.
Oh, challenge accepted.
Be honest with them. Be like, you know what? Hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. Why are you here? Don't waste my time. Don't waste your money.
Yeah.
You could be like that, or you could like be nice and sweet and sugarcoat it, or you could just, just whatever they want.
I'm not built that way. I don't know how to sugarcoat anything. So unless it's a donut, it's not sugar or anything. So
yeah, it all depends upon what you're feeling that person is or needs to hear. Some people, they come up with the where they're blocked and they're just kind of like trying to put on this facade just out of fear, of judgment. And you're just like, if you're open and honest with them, and depending upon the energy that they're putting out, what is this? The Silverland Hotel?
Yeah. Paul's jumping in with the Silverland Hotel is a nice banquet room downstairs, Virginia City, and they have a bar down there to serve guests. So he just
then Paul got me connected.
Right?
Talk to them.
Some people's kids. And Amy's responding with, makes sense. I have called them out of the reading before and just went with my intuition, and they tend to get shocked sometimes.
Yeah. Well, like I had Paul's bringing up the time how I like make fun of people. Yeah. But at the same time, the same event, this one event, and it's like a 2-hour, he recorded me. But there was like this one person, and she's just like, I got 36 people. I got to enter, I got to give something to somebody. And she comes up and I'm like, okay, hon, what's your name? And, because I like to just know their name. I don't like know anything about them.
Right.
I just want to know their name just so I can say something, hello, and address them.
Right.
And with that, this one girl of 36 people, I'm like, I go up to this one girl and I'm like, hey, hon, whatever her name was. I don't remember her name. Because stuff goes in and out,
All right. Yeah.
Goes in one ear out the other as soon as you say it. But and she's just like, you tell me. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
I'm not playing Stump the Psychic. I'm not playing games here. You paid money to be here, and so did all these people. Don't waste my time and your money and all their money. What do you want to know?
Right.
I can be mean sometimes. I mean, everyone said I did it nicely. I thought I was being mean, but but I was just, irritated. So don't irritate me.
The question is, can you connect with our galactic families?
If you want me to, I can try. Because the thing is, it's not limitations. There's no limitations, because what we're doing, and I'm sure you know this yourself, is we're just reading energy. We're
right. Uh-oh. Well, apparently that energy just kicked her offline. So apparently she didn't like that answer. She'll be back here shortly. Stand by 1 second. Anyways, thanks for showing up, folks. You guys are giving good questions. But while she's gone, here, let me throw this up. Because if you want to know how to reach her, right there, she has 2 different sites. She has the Onae Shinn, which is www.onae.org. And she's back.
Like, shut up.
And I'm like, and we're done. And also, we have her on her Facebook site right here, which is www.facebook.com/tarot by Onae. And these are 2. I just figured I'd fill this in while you were gone. So just, I'm plugging you now. But this is where you can reach out to her.
Stuff.
Right. Get right back to that one. But if you go to her onae.org page, I actually have perused that one myself. In fact, it's up right next to me on that site where my screen is. And it has everything. You can go in there. You kind of learn about her. She talks about her ability, what she can do for you. You can schedule a reading with her. It's really kind of a cool page to go through, because there's also an email on there, which is important too. So if you want to email her email address is on there, so you can go out there and email her and ask questions as well. She's really good about answering emails. I know this personally, so I'm happy about that. That someone actually answers back with email when I actually send one out. So anyways, that's how you get a hold of her right there. And she's back now. She's right there.
Yeah. I'm actually in the process of updating it right now, because I'm going to be at the Arizona Renaissance Festival, working there, doing readings there. It's Arizona Renaissance Festival. It's in Apache Junction. So if you guys are like cold and you want to come and have a fun time in the warm weather, I'll be there every weekend, February, March, and the first weekend in April. So it's 9 weekends in a row. I'll be dressed up in Renaissance outfits and being all gypsy-like and reading cards. So you guys got to come out and find me there.
Primal Cry wants to say she didn't do it. She asked the question, and all of a sudden you disappeared when she asked the question.
Yeah. They're like, shh.
Yeah, you're not supposed to talk about that. See, Primal Cry, that's why you go out to the page, go to the email, ask the email privately, and see what happens then.
Yeah.
So if the email disappears,
he never answers.
If the email disappears magically, you're just not supposed to know, apparently. So whatever galactic family you're tied to, they just don't want you to know an answer. So they're going to go that way. Oh, Paul wants to know, was that in the cards?
What?
Paul wants to know, was that in the cards? You disappearing?
Yes, it was definitely. It was definitely in the cards, Paul. Always. Cards never lie, Paul.
Cards never lie. I don't know. The very first card you pulled that you talked to me about, now all I can think about is the mall. So
yeah, it's all right there. You got to make decisions.
I don't even think we have a mall around us that's open anymore. So
really? Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. Tucson has what we got, like 3 or 4 malls here.
We have some outdoor malls, but nothing indoor anymore. Really, I think we have one indoor mall, which makes a lot of sense being in Nebraska in the winter. But we have some outdoor locations here, but kind of cold to go wandering around there right now. And yes, people trust me. I understand. I'm listening to Onae talk, and she's in Arizona, but yeah, she has this Eastern accent that comes out every once in a while, and the words just don't sound right coming from someone who's from Arizona, but she's not from Arizona. Just so you know. So.
Yep. I'm from back east. I'm a New Englander.
My wife corrected me. She told me there's 2 malls here, not just one. So,
yeah.
My bad.
And we need the indoor malls here because we need the AC.
Oh, I say because it's so hot.
Yeah.
But see, I'm one of those really dumb people that I like the heat when there's no humidity. So you'd always find me out there golfing. It's just, yeah. I tell people,
dry heat.
It is. And that's why it's so much better than here, I feel, because here you have the humidity and I don't care how many showers you take and how many times you dry off with a towel, you still feel like you're soaked. That's just nasty.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's just nasty.
And then your hair frizzes.
I know, right? Oh my God.
And your makeup melts.
I stopped wearing makeup because of it. I just stopped altogether. I didn't care anymore. Nope. They get looking natural now. So I even stopped coloring my beard. So
they have that just for men,
They do. But
and then you can get all Viking like and get those like.
I do that every once in a while. I'll take it down. It's getting long enough now.
The Renaissance Festival with the little Viking stuff.
It's getting long enough now that I can braid it. So hi Jolene, how you doing? It's funny you say that because I have a Norse background as well as a Native American background. I'm a very strange combination. But when you were, sorry, we squirrel momented for a second. You disappeared and left everything.
I am the queen of squirrel. Everyone knows that.
Damien says the oven is a dry heat, but you don't see him climbing in there. Well,
Damien, that's because you are a giant.
Wow. She said you can't fit.
He's 6'8". So I'm like 5'2". So when we've got this thing where like the movie what is that, Monsters Inc. and he's the blue monster and the little girl's Boo, and so he's my Boo, I'm his Boo. So because that's kind of what we look like when we're standing next to each other.
Yeah. Is when you're doing tarot, when someone's calling you to do tarot, do you have a feeling ahead of time about what deck you should use, or how do you identify what deck you should be using when you read it?
I just always use this one.
Do you?
Yeah, I might get like all, because this one fits in my hand. It's like it's more comfortable. See, it's like it's just kind of nice and small. I have my other favorite deck, which is I don't know. It's like probably another purse or another bag or something. But it's called the Rider-Waite, the Radiant Rider-Waite. And I was raised with the Rider-Waite. So the only thing different about the Radiant Rider-Waite is that the colors are more bold, more like just more, just kind of radiant.
Right.
So I just kind of, and also the difference between the Rider-Waite and the Hanson Roberts that I like to use is the Rider-Waite is kind of like TV. Like if you think of TV, there's the there's the widescreen, and then there's the whatever else is called. And so it's like the Rider-Waite has more of a, like, you can see beyond, like it's a big widescreen. You get more of it in a picture. And then this is more just kind of like focused in on just what you're like kind of like cropping in. So shh, quiet. We're almost done.
So you think?
Yeah. So yeah, so I only basically stick with my own deck. And
Okay.
I sometimes I don't even like need to even, I'll have you shuffle and just like so you get your energies and you feel like you're all doing something in there. And then I'll be like, Diet, actually, I was giving Diet a reading and she was explaining it. She's like, oh my God, she's like, she's just flipping cards. She's not even looking at them. And she's just telling me the reading and just reading me. So sometimes that's what it is. It's just me just kind of just like, just doing the motion. There is like no real thing. But then again, it's just the tarot cards though, really. And it's like, but I could never give you a reading like this. I mean, I could, but you know, I might have to peek at the book. Sometimes I'll give I'll do a oracle card with some tarot cards so you can kind of get more of a spiritual what steps you need to do, like what nuts and bolts of steps you need to do in order to fulfill and make happen the spiritual, like so you can get this feeling or keep moving forward or what you need and guidance wise spiritually that way. Right. So kind of you can mix things up, whatever, you know, again, it's just, you just listen to spirit, whatever comes to you, whatever you feel like the need is.
How does it, so I know that you go to conventions where there's other readers as well and stuff like that. You guys ever kind of get in each other's ways as far as energies? If you're sitting too close together?
No, really? I love when I'm around my girls and my other peeps. Because, you know, we just feed off each other's energy, especially if we're encouraging them. I don't like the people who are like all, ew, like let's be all jealous and I'm better than you. Yeah, no, then I don't like that. Then I'm just like, you're just a bitch. Ooh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. You're just, you know, self-centered.
Okay, you're good now. I have that supervisor. We're gonna have to write the button now. See, we're good now.
Yeah, I don't like people who are snotty and who think that like there's no room for other people or even lifting up others.
Yeah.
You know what? Because we're all like ice cream. You know, we're all basically ice cream. There's just different flavors, but we're all basically the same. We're all reading energy, and if you are there for the for the intent of love and helping and healing others, then why would you even want to be snotty and snooty? You want to be surrounded by that love and energy, and you all feed. And then like if I'm trying to, like someone comes to me and I'm just like, yeah, I'm sorry, like you're needing an answer that I'm not. Spirit won't let me see. But maybe if you're feeling drawn to somebody else, or she had more experience in this, or the only problem I have is like if there's someone who around me who uses patchouli oil, or does like these music that just grinds on my nerves, or like does a gong thing, and it's just like, you know, if it's gonna mess me up that way, I don't want to be around it. Right. But otherwise, yeah, I love my peeps. I love everybody should be sharing the energy and lifting each other up. And that's what makes it so successful.
Yeah. You know? I just didn't know if you're trying to do a reading and someone else is doing a reading and you guys are crossing paths of people who are walking in on you. You're like, that one's not supposed to be for you. You're supposed to go over there. You want the table. I mean,
that can't happen. We've done that. It's like, no, you're her. Or like, and if you see someone coming and you're just like not liking their energy, you just kind of like
break time. Look at that.
I'll let her get it. I'll like Diet get that one.
Joe is saying that you sound like Jamie Whitaker, who's on here with a New England accent.
Jamie, sound like Jamie.
That's Jamie Whitaker. She's the one on here that she's actually right here saying that she reading playing cards used to be her jam.
Okay.
So yeah.
Oh, you read playing cards? Oh my gosh. My girlfriend from Connecticut. I grew up in Connecticut, and her mother, like our mothers both read cards. My mom read tarot cards. Her mother read playing cards. And we would go from each other's houses and bug each other's moms to read our cards. And she read the playing deck. It was so fun and interesting. I never got to practice that because it didn't have pictures for me. So I like pictures.
I was going to ask about that. I was going to ask if that's something that can be done. It's just a regular deck of playing cards can be read.
Yeah. My friend does it herself, and when she feels like it, I try to bug her to but she's kind of rusty on it. But her mom used to do it her mom was from Germany, and that's I don't know if that's what they do in Germany or not, but that's what her mom did. So.
So how far back does your lineage go as far as being able to do tarot readings, or just clairvoyance? I
think it's just generation, like all the generations. And what do you call it? Just as far as back as I know, because my aunt used to be like telepathic, like talk all telepathically and stuff, and just kind of they would play games. And like I even taught my kids, like when we played hide and seek, we didn't just play like, oh hey, let me just count and and then go find you. We did it with pendulums. It's like we'd have a map of the house and just go with pendulums or walk around with the pendulum, and that's how I taught my kids, and that's how we played. Nice. And that's just kind of like just something we've just done and learned. And my mom would teach my kids things that probably I forgot.
I'm laughing because I can just see your kids out with a bunch of their friends playing hide and seek. All of a sudden they pull out a pendulum and go, I know where you are. They're like, what?
It does ruin it. For others it ruins it, but my kids love that shit. Oops, sorry, I said a swear word again.
It's still up there. It's still up there.
Okay, good.
I left it up just for you. So so it's funny because we have Jamie saying that gypsies read cards that way.
Yes. Yeah.
And now Jamie's saying that she sees nothing in the playing cards. She has to go to her other gifts. So
yep.
Yeah.
And that's because they're telling you don't depend on them. Just trust yourself. It's all about trusting yourself.
And I was going to ask you about that. I know you do the tarot readings. Could you do readings without tarot? Yeah. I mean, I know you like to, but you can. You have other great abilities too outside of just doing tarot. I mean, it's So
because what they do is what I've taught other people how to do, and what works for me is you can start by, like, if you're starting out as a beginner, like this is something you do, is you can you ask them to start off with dreams, okay, and then please, and you say, please give me something in the dream to remember that dream for a message, and then so you'll start to remember your dreams, and they'll start to pertain to things during the day or around somebody that you know. And then you start to, like, when you start to want to talk to somebody and you kind of feel like you need an answer or something, you can do things like, this thing where you kind of stand up straight and you put your hands across your chest. It's just an exercise. And you're like, okay, you're at the grocery store. Can I have, am I going to have, should I have green beans for dinner? And if it pulls you forward, like for me, if yes is forward, if not, but back is no. So you do stuff like that. So you're learning to trust yourself, because you're going to kind of like pay attention to like which way you feel you're going to be pulled, and then your body goes that way, and you start to like tune in and trust yourself, and these are like little exercises.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where it's like you start to, like, I don't know, have like a chalkboard if you're old fashioned, or your whiteboard now if you're like, I don't know, like millennial people. And then you can have, so your chalkboard or your whiteboard, you'd be like, hey, should I have green beans or asparagus? I don't know. I'm just picking about food. I guess you must be hungry. And so and it'll answer like, yes or no, or you'll see like on the whiteboard, you'll just say, Spirit, just write the word on the whiteboard for me. And then you'll see like words, up there. Like when I'm doing my readings and my lives, you'll be like, oh, and you'll see me like looking off here or looking over there. When I'm looking up here, typically it's like, I'm looking at the whiteboard, right? If I'm looking over here, typically, or over here, it's typically spirits coming in and entering the room,
Yeah.
And then I have my Banshee sticker.
I saw that.
Yeah. Not sticker, it's a tattoo.
Yep.
But I have my Banshee tattoo, and that's from my Irish side. That's my mom's side. So, and I have it on the left, and that's, for me, reminds me that, the feminine is on the left. So I try to have spirit follow my rules. If they will do so, they help me out. And they'll bring something in on the left side for me and let me know that it's feminine if I'm having a problem deciphering. And then masculine, I haven't gotten it yet, but I'm going to get one on my side. My Lebanese side, or not my Lebanese side, but my father is from Lebanon. And so that would be the masculine, which is the right side. I'm going to get something to represent the Lebanese side on me.
Yeah.
But so I can kind of like, oh yeah, feminine, masculine. Yeah, I got it. So kind of like little things to like have like help me out, kind of like you're like, oh, your left hand, or turn left, and I have to kind of go like, oh yeah, where's the L?
Where's the L? Yeah.
I'll turn this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah.
my forearm, well, you can't really see them too well, but my forearm tattoos, one side is a this side is my war angel. So this is my war side, and this side is my peace angel and my cross with all the sigils in it. And a lot of times I'll realize that I'm doing something, and then I'll end up touching one of the arms. And for me, it's almost like I'm like, okay, so things are about to go sideways here, and I'm always touching my war angel when I'm doing that, or I touch my right arm, and I'm like, oh, all right, well, it's not going to be as bad as I think, and I'm touching my cross.
See? But right there, you are just intuitively
Yeah,
going to where it is.
yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
I started paying attention to it because I used to never pay attention to it, and I even noticed like sometimes I'll sit with my arms crossed like this, but I cross both ways, so I pay attention to which one's on top, which one's on bottom now too.
Yeah, and which one is guarding you? Which one is
Right.
like, you know?
Yeah,
which
because
one's
when I sit like
protecting you,
this,
which one
it's
you
always
need?
the war one on top. So
Yeah.
yeah, I started paying attention to that too a little bit. So it's interesting how that comes out, and if you
Yep.
start paying attention to it enough, you'll actually start seeing stuff like that. I started telling people that they have to start paying attention to the smallest of things, like
Yes.
like if the example I give, because I really started listening to that inner voice of mine. If I have something like, for instance, I work on the base. I work on a military base, and I have to have a specific ID card to get onto the base. And if I don't have it sitting where I'm supposed to, then I guarantee I'm going to forget it the next day. And I always have that little voice, even if I'm laying in bed, it'll say, "Don't forget to go get your card." And I'm like, "I'll remember it tomorrow." Halfway to the base, I'm like, "I forgot my card." And so as soon as I start hearing that voice, I go do whatever it tells me to do.
Yeah. That's the biggest lie we do. Yeah. I don't need to write that down.
Right? What's up, William? How you doing, brother?
William Nighthawk, huh?
Yeah, William
That's
Nighthawk
an interesting name.
He's a indigenous veteran shaman. So
Cool.
very, very cool. One of my pseudo mentors for my Native American side and my indigenous side, because I don't really have anyone else in my family that's still alive to teach me anything. So I kind of follow along and watch William stuff and pay attention to William stuff. And I have convinced William to actually come onto my show for everybody who's listening who wants to know more about him. See, I do the same thing. I plug the folks too.
Yep.
But he's coming on my show.
Yep,
he's coming on my show. It's a ways out, so you guys have time to remember this. But he's going to be on my show February 27th, so it's a day before my pseudo birthday. That's my birthday present to me, is having him on my show. So
good.
Yeah. So because I say pseudo birthday because I'm actually born on leap day. I'm actually born February 29th.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to come on for my pseudo birthday week.
So do you have a Native American name?
It's funny because I don't have my first mentor was someone named Joni Mitchell, and she's known as Joni White Buffalo. She has a lot longer name, but it's Joni White Buffalo. And mine actually came out as Thomas White Lion because one of my guardians, one of my ones that I walk with, is a very pure white lion with the dark piercing blue eyes. So she's like, I think that's who you're supposed to be. So she kind of gave me my name. I don't have a true given name, simply because I don't have anyone who I can turn to ask or anything left. So,
well, it sounds like you do now.
Yeah. But yeah, so William's one I'm following, and he's a good friend. So I'm excited to have him on the show, and you can see everyone talking in the comments that they're going to show up there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this is a good place to kind of wrap it up. We've been talking for about an hour and 15 minutes.
I'm actually starting on this network's. Where am I? What network am I on?
Oh, you're just on my show.
Yeah, where are we?
We're on Facebook right now.
Just on Facebook? It's not like it's
well,
not
we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch right now. Okay.
Because I was like, I thought it was like supposed to be like Todd Bates or something like that.
Oh, the Todd Bates Talk Radio. So that's one of them that's one of them. I actually post this out to 26 different sites.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Everyone's allowed me to advertise everyone's allowed me to advertise my show on their pages. And so I take full advantage of it because I want everybody like you to be able to have a huge audience and to be introduced to everybody. And I don't fall under anybody's tutelage, show line, or anything else. I'm not part of the
I thought that's where we met. I thought that's how we met. It was like
we did because I came and found you because you were talking. And then I started following you, and I'm like, oh, well, now I want Onae on my show because she's really interesting and she's really fun, and I want her on my show.
Cool. Thanks.
And then I started Facebook stalking you, which is even better. And then I went out to your site and learned everything about your site. And
my Facebook, I'm a little bit of a smart ass with my memes. I love my memes.
just a little, maybe just a little. Well, Jamie, if you need a place to go steal memes from, go to her page.
Steal them. I love to share. And people are like, oh my God. So, and then there's certain people that I'll share like privately in Messenger because sometimes, people are like, if I share that, they're going to be like, oh my God, this woman is insane.
Or Facebook jail is going to get you, one or the other. So.
But thank you so much for having me on. It was wonderful.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was, I was a joy having you on here. I was excited because I'm like, all right, I'm finally getting Onae on here. I mean, like I said, I've only been following you because, like I said, I'm kind of new to the picture myself. But I've been following you now for about 3 months, and I just finally said, screw it. Worst case scenario, she's going to say no. Best case scenario, she's going to say yes and come on my show, and we're going to have a blast. So worked out great.
Good. I'm glad. And if you ever, since you say you're just kind of new and all this stuff, just hit me up for a question. If you got a question, you need help, whatever, just,
I
I'm here.
appreciate it. Yeah.
I do, again, because I'm the queen of squirrel. So, thank you. But yeah, I am the queen of squirrel. So like, I'll be sleeping because my phone dings all like 24/7.
Oh my goodness.
And I have this crazy habit of going, it'll be like ding, and I'll be like, oh, and I'll be sleeping. I'll look at it, go, and I'll look, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, and then I put it down, and then I wake up, and it's like 5 days later, I'm like, oh, I forgot so messaged me.
Right.
So you just gotta like message me again.
I will tell you, the very first time I messaged you, it took like another 1 or 2 more to get you to go, oh, okay. But once we started talking, it was, I mean, we were there. Yeah. So it was good.
You had my focus at that moment. So it was good. It was
the one time once you started
I squirred to like other things. And
yes, which is perfect, which is perfectly normal and acceptable and expected on this show. So, but anyways, I want to throw this up one more time before you go. Okay. For everyone who did not get a chance to see it, right there, Onae Shinn. Onae.org. You can go out to there, check it out. I have the page up right now. It's fantastic. Or you can go out to facebook.com/tarot by Onae. And when you go out there, again, she has an email that she will answer as long as she doesn't check it in the middle of the night when she wakes up. And you can kind of ask all the questions you want out there. You can see your pages. You can kind of see what kind of, it's surprising how much you can learn about someone's personality stalking them on Facebook. I'm
really not as crazy as I look.
She's worse. I mean, no, not at all. Amani's saying thank you very much. Thanks, Amani.
Thank you so much.
And so yeah, I really enjoyed having you on. Don't be surprised if I hit you up later on and ask you to come on again.
Thank you so much. I would love it. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, and we'll have to get more stories from a couple of the guys, from Paul and whoever else wants to tell us stories. So we'll just roll that way and see what happens.
Well, now we have to do events together.
Now we have to do events together.
Cons and all these other events. Yep.
And
there's some I don't go to because some people are shady and not so nice. So, but otherwise.
So I will have to lean on you to see if that's where I'm supposed to be going. Hold on. I have to try this before you go. So we call her Mary because of that name.
Okay.
All right, Mary, hopefully you're still here because I'm going to ask you if I'm pronouncing this right because I want to try this. Is it Uilani Ku'ule? Uilani Ku'ule. Is that correct? I'm not sure if it is or not, but that's the best I can come up with. So hopefully I'm close.
Wow, that's a mouthful. That's
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know how close I am to that.
And it sounds like it would be a beautiful name if you pronounce it properly.
Oh, I got it correct. She said, yes, correct. Which is amazing. And the funny thing is her and this gentleman right here Joe, oh, she said so close. Melody said so close. But all three of them were over in Hawaii. And the way they told me to do this was to always sound out every vowel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. I'm like, I'm going to try this. So anyways, sorry, that was another squirrel moment with us. But anyways, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to say goodnight to you really quick, and I'm going to throw you backstage, and I'm going to say goodnight to everybody else.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in.
All right, and I will be right back with you in a second. All right, everybody, that's the show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, I'm going to throw this banner up there too so everyone can see it. Special night, special time. I am doing a show this Thursday. So in just a couple of days, I'm going to have on Sarah Jane Kamachek-Villani. Again, I don't know how I get the names with that, where I got to try to figure out how to pronounce them out. But I have Sarah Jane coming on. She is awesome. If you hadn't had a chance to see her yet, go out and check her out on Facebook as well. I believe, I don't want to say this wrong, but I think she's actually starting to work with the Get Haunted Network. If I'm wrong, she'll let me know. But we'll talk about that Thursday. And it's a different time. As you can see, it's at 6 p.m. Central, not 7 that my normal show is. There's an advertisement out there for this, so make sure you check it out. But I am doing a second show this week, and hopefully I will see everybody there. Other than that, you all have a great night. Love seeing you all. Be safe this week. Happy New Year. Hopefully it's all starting off on the right foot. Much love, and I will talk to you all in about